Books on Tape presents A Clash of Kings, Book 2 of A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. Martin, read by Roy Dotrice. Prologue. The comet's tail spread across the dawn, a red slash that bled above the crags of Dragonstone like a wound in the pink and purple sky. The maester stood on the wind-swept balcony outside his chambers. It was here the ravens came after long flight. Their droppings speckled the gargoyles that rose 12 feet tall on either side of him, a hellhound and a wyvern, 2 of the 1,000 that brooded over the walls of the ancient fortress. When first he came to Dragonstone, the army of stone grotesques had made him uneasy, but as the years passed, he'd grown used to them. Now he thought of them as old friends. The 3 of them watched the sky together with foreboding. The maester did not believe in omens, and yet, old as he was, Cresson had never seen a comet half so bright, nor yet that colour, that terrible colour, the colour of blood and flame and sunsets. He wondered if his gargoyles had ever seen its like. They had been here so much longer than he had, and would still be here long after he was gone. If stone tongues could speak. Such folly! He leaned against the battlement, the sea crashing beneath him, the black stone rough beneath his fingers. Talking gargoyles and prophecies in the sky? I am an old done man, grown giddy as a child again. Had a lifetime's hard-worn wisdom fled him along with his health and strength? He was a maester, trained and chained in the great citadel of Old Town. What had he come to, when superstition filled his head as if he were an ignorant field hand? And yet, the comet burned even by day now, while pale grey steam rose from the hot vents of Dragonmont behind the castle. And yestermorn a white raven had brought word from the citadel itself, word long expected, but no less fearful for all that, word of summer's end, omens all, too many to deny. "What does it all mean?" he wanted to cry. "Maester Cresson, we have visitors." Pilot spoke softly, as if loath to disturb Cresson's solemn meditations. Had he known what drivel filled his head, he would have shouted. The princess would see the white raven. Ever correct, Pilus called her princess now, as her lord father was a king. King of a smoking rock in a great salt sea, yet a king none the less. Her fool is with her. The old man turned away from the dawn, keeping hand on his wyvern to steady himself. "Help me to my chair, and show them in." Taking his arm, Pilus led him inside. In his youth, Cresson had walked briskly, but he was not far from his 80th name day now, and his legs were frail and unsteady. 2 years past, he had fallen and shattered a hip, and it had never mended properly. Last year, when he took ill, the citadel had sent Pilus out from Old Town, mere days before Lord Stannis had closed the isle. To help him in his labours, it was said, but Cresson knew the truth. Pilus had come to replace him when he died. He did not mind. Someone must take his place, and sooner than he would like. He let the younger man settle himself behind his books and papers. "Go bring her. It is ill to keep a lady waiting." He waved a hand, a feeble gesture of haste from a man no longer capable of hastening. His flesh was wrinkled and spotted, his skin so papery thin that he could see the web of veins and the shape of bones beneath. And how they trembled, these hands of his that had once been so sure and deft. When Pilus returned, the girl came with him, shy as ever. Behind her, shuffling and hopping in that queer sideways walk of his, came her fool. On his head was a mock helm fashioned from an old tin bucket with a rack of deer antlers strapped to the crown and hung with cowbells. With his every lurching step, the bells rang, each with a different voice. Clang-a-dang, bong-dong, ring-a-ling, clong, clong, clong. "Who comes to see us so early, Pilus?" Cresson said. "It's me, and Patches, maester." Guileless blue eyes blinked at him. Hers was not a pretty face, alas. The child had a lord-father's square jut of jaw, and her mother's unfortunate ears, along with a disfigurement all her own, the legacy of a bout of grayscale that had almost claimed her in the crib. Across half a cheek and well down her neck, her flesh was stiff and dead, the skin cracked and flaking, mottled black and grey and stony to the touch. "Pilus said we might see the White Raven." "Indeed you may," Cresson answered, as if he would ever deny her. She had been denied too often in her time. Her name was Shireen. She would be 10 on her next name day, and she was the saddest child that Maester Cresson had ever known. "Her sadness is my shame," the old man thought. "Another mark of my failure. Maester Pilus, do me a kindness, and bring the bird down from the rookery for Lady Shireen." "It would be my pleasure." Pilus was a polite youth, no more than 25, yet solemn as a man of 60. If only he had more humour, more life in him. That was what was needed here. Grim places needed lightning, not solemnity, and Dragonstone was grim beyond a doubt. A lonely citadel in the wet waste surrounded by storm and salt, with the smoking shadow of the mountain at its back. A maester must go where he is sent. So Cresson had come here with his lord's home 12 years past, and he had served, and served well. Yet he had never loved Dragonstone, nor ever felt truly at home here. Of late, when he woke from restless dreams, in which the Red Woman figured disturbingly, he often did not know where he was. The fool turned his patched and piebald head to watch Pilus climb the steep iron steps to the rookery. His bells rang with emotion. "Under the sea, the birds have scales for feathers," he said, clang-a-langing. I know, oh-ho-ho." Even for a fool, Patchface was a sorry thing. Perhaps once he could evoke gales of laughter with a quip, but the sea had taken that power from him, along with half his wits and all his memory. He was soft and obese, subject to twitches and trembles, incoherent as often as not. The girl was the only one who laughed at him now, the only one who cared if he lived or died. "An ugly little girl, and a sad fool, and Maester makes 3. Now there is a tale to make men weep." "Sit with me, child." Cresson beckoned her closer. "This is early to come calling, scarce past dawn. You should be snug in your bed." "I had bad dreams," Shireen told him. "About the dragons. They were coming to eat me." The child had been plagued by nightmares as far back as Maester Cresson could recall. "We have talked of this before," he said gently. "The dragons cannot come to life. They are carved of stone, child. In olden days our island was the westernmost outpost of the great freehold of Valyria. It was the Valyrians who raised this citadel, and they had ways of shaping stone since lost to us. A castle must have towers wherever 2 walls meet at an angle for defence. The Valyrians fashioned these towers in the shape of dragons to make their fortress seem more fearsome, just as they crowned their walls with 1,000 gargoyles instead of simple crenellations." He took her small pink hand in his own frail, spotted one, and gave it a gentle squeeze. "So you see, there's nothing to fear." Shireen was unconvinced. "What about the thing in the sky? Dalla and Matrice were talking by the well, and Dalla said she heard the Red Woman tell Mother that it was dragon's breath. If the dragons are breathing,
Doesn't that mean they're coming to life?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?